Now, we only do real life on this channel, and I'm gonna give you a real life look at my office floor. Over here at headquarters right now, it is a total disaster. And while I should be spending time organizing, cleaning, and getting those things listed, we are going to do none of that, and instead we're going thrifting because that is more fun. And wait until you see one of the pieces that I found in this trip. Stay tuned. All right, roll call really quickly. I have about 1,850 active listings, trying to get to 1,900 very, very soon. Sales for September were up 8% net from last September. All good things. Guys, don't let me slack on putting videos out for you. I only did 5 videos in September. That is totally unacceptable. So I will try to commit to getting more out here as October, November, and December creep up. But let's get into some of the items I found in thrift stores recently. For those of you that haven't been following me for very long, I love picking up thermostats. This is 2 really good examples. I'm not going to read you the style number on it because it's like 55 letters long. It's Honeywell, and they clearly work. They clearly both illuminate when you touch the screen, and they're only going to cost me $4. The comparables say that I can sell these while also charging shipping for $35 each. So when we're walking into a small store and I can squeeze $70 out of an $8 spend, I feel like I've already succeeded, and it makes a lot of this sourcing so much easier. But I love thermostats. Every store I walk into seems to underprice them, and for good reason. They should not be spending time looking every single item up. And if you're in an area where it's very slow, they have plenty of help in the back, and they've got the time to look things up. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you, but if you're in a volume store, things like this slip out and slip under the cracks all the time. So I am super pleased with those 2. But yeah, I love picking up thermostats. It's just so easy to sell. I sell lots of them. So we got anything else here on this top rack? I don't think so. So we're going to have to move on. I like that little Hello Kitty on the bottom there. Now here's a brand I'm not familiar with, and I didn't pick this up. So it's Emile Henry. Obviously it's just an oval baking dish. And when I went in, I saw like about 100 of these listed, maybe 30, 35 sold in the last 90 days. They want $10 for it. There could have been a couple of reasons why I didn't see that exact one sell. The color could have been rare, or it just wasn't desirable. And since I'm not very familiar with selling that brand, I'm going to put that down at $10. Maybe it could have sold for $30. Somebody that has knowledge in that with that brand or in that category might have done a little bit better or may have picked that up. I'm letting that go in hopes that I'll find something I'm a little bit more familiar with. I love Hoka as a brand. I've sold maybe 15, 20 pairs in the last 90 days alone. This is a pair of Arahi 4. They're men's blue. They just have a little bit too much wear. Hoka is one of those brands where even if it's got moderate wear on the soles, in my experience, they still sell. You'll still get positive feedback if you disclose everything properly. That one, it just looked like it was really on the end of its life, and ultimately I want the buyer to have a positive experience when they're selling on eBay, and I think that was just a little bit too much for me to be able to bear. It would have been, even with a little bit of wear, moderate wear, I think I still could have gotten $40 to $50 out of it, but that thing is worth $0 with that much wear. Okay, next piece here. This is very rare for me, at least in my area, to find anything Tiki. The artist here is Tim Woolweber, and if I'm going to pronounce this woman's name correctly, it's Hina Kuluua. Hina Kuluua. This is a pretty, I think, rare ceramic figure. They only want $4 for it. There's a pair listed for $250 brand new, and I don't see any solds of just the brown glaze of one girl in the last even 2 years on Terapeak. There was one that has like a bluish and brown combined glaze color that sold for $120. I'll put the comps on the screen for you. As far as me getting that listed, I'm going to list it somewhere between $125 and $150. There wasn't a single chip. There wasn't any cracks. There was no crazing. She was really in beautiful condition. It was from 2020. I thought that was an awesome pickup and just really lucky because I don't find Tiki ever in my area. And, with the exception of having the Kahiki Supper Club here in Columbus, one of those old school, a lot of you people that are here regularly will remember that restaurant. We get some of the Supper Club stuff that comes through, but just not a lot of Tiki in general. So that was an exciting find. That's it for that store. So I'm gonna move over to another store. I'm leaving this Harley shirt behind. There was one that sold just recently in a size small for $28 free shipping. That was a little bit of a larger size, but I'm gonna let the data do the talking. When I was looking at this, there were no solds, and even in the last 2 years, I only see 2 solds for that exact style, and they were both smalls. I'm letting it go. There's plenty of people that are going to pick that up. That's going to be your problem, but I'm letting the numbers do the talking, and the number said put that thing back. Patagonia has entered the chat once again. Surprisingly enough, for this pattern, this is a woman's Capeline long sleeve. The only recent sold that I could find sold for $37, so I have mine listed for $35. But more importantly, when I source Patagonia in a video, that means we do a giveaway, and we're going to give an item away in the next video that I record. So lucky for you, lucky find for me, listing it for $35. It's going to cost me $5. I'm still picking up chunky soled Converse. These are all-star lugged highs. They have they're calling this color papyrus. It's like a beige, and these are pretty easily $40 pre-owned. So hopefully my color stands out a little bit because it's unique. I don't know. That could work to my benefit. It could take a little bit longer since maybe it's not one of the more popular styles. I don't really know, but I think $40, if I wait long enough, it's going to work. It's going to cost me $5.30 to be exact in this location. I just round up to $5.50. We've got wrong season and wrong condition for this glove, although this A360 is a bolo if it is in a little bit better condition. I don't know if you can see all of the cracks towards where the Velcro is on that one, but that basically eliminates it for me. I mean, I might have been able to get away with a certain amount of damage, but we are out of season for all intents and purpose, although that stuff will sell year round. And again, if you see the A360, that was the 14-inch softball glove. It's a good one to pick up. I don't remember what the price was just now, $5, $6, $7. It would sell for $25 to $30 if it was in better condition, but I got to leave that one behind. I'm not going to take the risk. Puma is not a brand that I pick up a ton, so those shoes look like they're in pretty decent condition, and condition does matter, but I'm going to leave those behind. I'm also going to leave the Rolls-Royce tumblers behind, even though these are kind of cool and unique. I think they want $13 for each of them. If those are worth $60 a piece, I simply missed it and didn't look them up, so congrats to whoever may have grabbed it. So the glove has to go back, but take a look at this thing. This is a Johnny Was suede faux fur full-length coat. Halmstad is the style on this coat. Totally sold out online. Very soft. I mean, the thing was in just fantastic condition. All the faux fur intact. I'm coming to the realization that I might have to have like a hanging dress form at least to kind of hang some of these up because it's a $300 coat. I have to shoot it flat on my deck. And while the pictures came out okay, I think it would style a little bit better maybe if it was hanging off of a dress form of some sort. So I've been rejecting the idea of using them again, but maybe I need to change that. Anyway, take a look at this beauty. It is a beautiful coat. Last 2 that sold on eBay sold for $350 and $250 respectfully. I am going to meet that in the middle, and I have mine listed for $300. What a score, right? So we got to check the rest of this rack because I'm always under the assumption that if it came out as soft surroundings, that's what that was. I hear a lot of people picking that up. I left that behind. Was that a mistake or not? But if it is coming out of a closet of a bunch of high value items, maybe I'll get lucky and they will all be on this one rack. I don't recall finding anything else on this rack, but man, what a score on that jacket. How am I doing, ladies? Am I getting a little bit better? I think Johnny Was is maybe a little bit more obvious for me because I have sourced it before. I sold a really cool pair of white pants, white jeans that were Johnny Was recently. I don't think I've ever found one of their dresses, but I think finding that coat makes up for it. This bowling shirt is kind of sweet. Vintage King Louis. I bet somebody scooped that up, but I left it behind, didn't run comps on it. I think I'm doing all right. So next thing here is a really nice Lululemon crossbody. I think they're calling this one The Rest Is Written. I'm going to use the pink keyword, but I'm also going to use the neon keyword as well in my listing. I have seen a bunch of these listed pre-owned. The only sold that I could find in the last 90 days had sold for $60. I feel like I'm going to come in at 30 and be aggressive. I want to be the best priced for this, even though that's probably a brand I don't have to do that on. It's just that style and colorway combination doesn't seem to be as appealing based on the sales data than I thought it would be. So coming in at $30, I'm paying the accessory price in this store of $2.99. So selling it for $30, being the one that comes up first in search and only paying $3, I think is enough for me to be satisfied. Again, I could push it to $40, but why bother? It doesn't look like, it's like black seems to be the best color for those crossbodies. And I know they're making a bunch of different kinds right now. Those crossbodies in general, or the little fanny packs, really took off, but $30 is going to be fair. These G Defies, I didn't really like the way the uppers looked. Some of the stuff was peeling away, but that brand G Defy is definitely a brand you want to keep your eye on, because there are certain styles that sell for a pretty high dollar amount. I think condition matters, but left those behind because I didn't like the uppers. But I'm going to grab this suede Minnetonka hat. I tend to avoid the Minnetonka suede moccasins, but this hat is in nice condition. I don't remember. I think it's a size large. Got a little small little braid around the side here. There was an XL, if I remember correctly, that sold for $45. I don't remember if it was pre-owned or if it was new. I think for this one, the $25 to $30 range will be most appropriate. So that'll cost me $3. I'll sell it for $25, and this is free money. A TI 84 Plus. These things sell like ridiculously fast. The batteries are dead, so got to get it home and test it. Assuming, of course, it works. That's $50 out the door yesterday. So amazingly lucky find right there, and $5 is more than fair for that. The color on this one is just black. It's got some stickers on the case and whatnot. I might try to take them off, but I don't think that I necessarily have to, because they are such easy sellers. So we're going to go 25 on the Minnetonka hat and hope to move that quickly, and then $50 on the calculator. It's always a good day when you find a TI 84 Plus. I don't think I've ever sold a pair of Rockfords, but those were brand new. And so I was second guessing myself there, but I am leaving them behind. Here's an interesting thing right here. This gramophone, phonograph. It's a loudspeaker. You like stick your iPhone in that little slot on the base, and I don't know, it makes your voice louder. Chalk this up as, you know, one of the items that is 100% unnecessary in the world. I can't figure out what its like actual useful purpose is. It's cool looking. They had $50 on it. There was, yes, a recent sale around July for $150, but when you go into Terapeak, it told a different story. With the base, I saw a lot of them selling in the $50, $60, $70, $80 range. So at $50 with 2 years of data to back up my decision to leave it behind, that's what I am going to do. Nothing else here that's interesting or looks complete. That is missing a leg on that little hairdryer. So $50 was probably a little bit too steep for me. I would be also pricing mine at around $150 and maybe waiting a little bit. And I've done this before where I've done that and I've gotten lucky, and you shoot for the stars and you're willing to accept a little bit of a smaller return. But I just don't think necessarily that I have to do that in this instance. So I've got a lot of good inventory, and I'm just going to stick with the decision I made to leave it behind. So I do notice that I went back a day or two later and that thing had sold. So somebody did pay $50 for it. So go for it. Maybe they'll get lucky. Maybe they're using it for personal use. Who knows? But I'm not going to use it. Can't really make it work to my advantage. So I'm leaving it behind. Left the gingerbread Longaberger behind there. I have a couple of interesting plush right here. This guy is, I forget his name. It's a Jellycat, and it's brand new with tags. And he's just a little dinosaur. I'm going to get the tag here so that I can remember who this is. I am Little Douglas Dino. I feel like this guy will sell in between $30 and $50 pre-owned, or excuse me, brand new. So I'm picking him up for sure at $2.99. This guy here, I really struggled with. The price marked here is $7. The brand is Little Monkey Lost. Now this one is electronic. He's got a battery component on the inside. You squeeze him, and when he opens his mouth, it like roars and makes sounds. This is not like any of the ones I did the research on, where if you squeeze them, they just make a squeaking sound. They suck their thumb. They're the babies. This is like one of the mom, dad, something or other, but I couldn't find a single comparable. And I'm telling you, I went into YouTube, watched all their old videos. I can't find a single solitary comparable that looks exactly like that one. And so Just to make the totaling up easier at the end, I'm going to call it $50 on a $6.99 spend. But in my brain, I'm like, oh, do I have the most rare Little Monkey Lost plush ever in existence? Like, don't make a mistake and list it for 50 when it's worth 500. But we're going to call it 50. If you guys want to do your research, see if you can find anything on your end, by all means, go for it, because I just couldn't find anything at all. And that's very rare. Like, not a single picture, nothing came up in my research. We're going to finish it off with a nice Lululemon piece. Just your standard racerback tank, women's size 10. I couldn't find the exact style on it. Let's call this one $20. So I spent $52.50 and my listed value is $725. All right, my pick is going to be the Lululemon crossbody for today's giveaway. Now, normally I like to ask a question to give you the answer. Any answer will do in the comments section, but you have to be a subscriber, so make sure you're subscribed if you want a chance to win this. Hit the like button, and then again, any comment will do. My question for you is, we are now amazingly in fourth quarter. What's your goal, or what are your goals for your business for the fourth quarter? Even if you're just doing this part-time or you're retired or whatever, I especially want to hear from people that aspire to be full-time. What are your goals for the fourth quarter? I can tell you what one of my main goals is to sell like 10 to 20 wholesale boxes to you folks as well. It's been a long time since I've updated my website, so I will be updating that here within the next month, and I'll have wholesale boxes available for those of you that struggle to get good inventory. All of the ones that I posted before have all sold out, so I'm going to re-up on that for you folks. I will link my website in the description of this video. You can feel free to get on my email list, which is somewhere located on the website. Just get in there if you want early access to know when those boxes go live before I mention it to my YouTube audience. But that's one of my goals for my business for the fourth quarter. Let me know what yours are, and that is all I have for you today. We will pick a winner in the next video for this Lululemon crossbody, and that's it. Brendan here, Dad Planet, the One Man Show. Thanks again, as always, for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.